Okay, I think we're going. Right, thanks so much everybody for coming back again. I hope you enjoyed the weekend so far. We just had James from Coast on. It was really nice to speak to him, and unintentionally I've managed to have a whole afternoon of Scottish brewed non-alcoholic beer. So yeah, right now I'm joined by Sonia from Jumpship. So hi Sonia.
Hello.
Loving the background. I was complimenting you on that before. It's very on brand. I love it.
Yeah, I do like the flags. And I say they might fall down halfway through our stuff, but do your best with a Zoom background.
Well, what are we drinking? What have we got today?
So this is Yoda. It is our first release. It's a lager. But probably heading into territory, what you might call an IPL, an India style lager. So it's hopped with Citra and Bobek, so a little bit more hop flavour to it than you'd expect from your standard lager, and a bit more malt as well. So
great head on that.
Yeah. No, and a nice sort of golden colour as well. Yeah,
it's fantastic. Right, well, thank you so much for joining me. I mentioned your flags and your banner in the background. Do you want to? I can't. That says "Get Ship Face," doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So what's the sort of nautical theme behind the name, behind the branding?
So I love sailing. Being out on the water is my happy place. Sadly, not done much in the last few years. I'm not probably going to do much more now. I've launched my own business. But and the idea of Jumpship is also just, don't be afraid to make a change. Like if alcohol's not working for you, jump ship, have a go, taste an alcohol-free beer. And so when we came to looking at the packaging design, we were looking at sort of, came up with the idea of using the nautical flags. So it's the nautical flag system of communication. So each of these flags is a letter.
Okay.
So in the case of Yardam, we've got YAL for Yardam Lager.
Okay, very cool.
If you see on the back, we've got the J and the S for Jumpship.
Nice, very different. Yeah, that's so cool.
And it's I wanted something that you could have a bit of fun with. You can sort of spell out messages, so in that view, if I can to share the screen, I've got a little competition for
oh, brilliant. Yeah, let's
so is that going to pop up? Yeah, so here there's a little message spelled out at the top of that picture in flags. The first person who can decode it, put a message in the YouTube. You'll see that, won't you, Robin?
I think so. Yeah, I've got it up here.
Yeah, so if you decode it, pop it in a message, and the first person to do it, I'll send you a 12-pack of Yardam Lager.
So a bit of decoding of the nautical flags. So well, actually, now they're going to click away from here. So should we? What do we say? Should we start it at? I don't know. Let's go. Just go.
Yeah. People do. Okay. Excellent. Right. Right. Now if I can stop the.
So
right. Just there we are. Stop the share screen. There we go. Cool technology.
So whereabouts are you at the moment?
So I'm at home in Edinburgh.
Okay.
The sun is shining. It's not a bad day.
And where, and is that's where you brew as well? Is it in Edinburgh?
Yeah. So we brew just outside Edinburgh. To me, when I do to make a sort of a locally brewed beer brewed in Scotland, it was kind of one of the things that triggered my journey when I sort of started drinking more alcohol-free beers, I was kind of finding a lot of European style beers out there. But when I opened my fridge, it was full of like local Scottish beers. I'm like, hang on, why am I being forced to drink something different just because it's alcohol-free?
Yeah.
Maybe I could have a crack.
And you said you're the first dedicated Scottish non-alcoholic beer, is that right? Hello?
Yeah, so
Oh,
first
sorry, yeah,
one to
break
just
up
brew
there.
in
Yeah.
Scotland. So, yeah. So it was a good milestone to meet.
Yeah, definitely. So what's your sort of background in how did you get to the to creating these beers?
Yeah, so I came at it as a beer drinker. I've always like enjoyed a beer. Than anything else. Played a lot of rugby, a lot of beer drinking, a lot of hangovers, and I just kind of took that as, yeah, that's just what happens. And as I got older, as life got busier, got 3 kids, got job, dog, just the hangovers really weren't working for me anymore. And just even a couple of beers, waking up in the morning, just feeling a bit scratchy and a bit less patient and tolerant of people. So that sort of sent the journey of, okay, what options are there without alcohol? Because I still really wanted a beer. It's one of the pleasant things at the end of a hard day is just sit down and have a beer in the kitchen. It's just that little reward that makes, helps you get through the day. So I really still wanted that beer. I just didn't want the alcohol. And started looking at what was out there. I think this was 2018, and it's amazing what has happened in the last 2 years in terms of the alcohol-free community. So when I started looking at the beers out there, I couldn't find the one that I really wanted to drink. And I spent about 6 months telling myself, this is crazy, you can't do this. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to be really annoyed if someone else does it, and I just want to have a crack at making this beer. So not a brewer, not even a home brewer at that point. So I went to beer school. I did a startup brewing course, and learned an awful lot, got even more excited about making beer, but also realized that to do this commercially I'd need some help. So I met a brewer who worked with me on a recipe. So I had a sort of clear idea of the beer I wanted to make. And I wanted to start with a lager because I feel like lager doesn't get enough love.
I agree. Yeah.
It's a bit of a dirty word in the craft beer community, and I don't want to use the F word, but there's kind of like posters and those kind of beers out there that give lager a bad name. But I think actually a well-made lager is a beautiful thing. And coming at it with with the hops and the sort of the maltiness that you might expect from more of a craft beer. So we started off small batch, 30 litres, and came up with a beer straight away that tasted amazing. And
wow.
shared it with friends and shared it with different groups of people, and everyone really liked it, and it really stood its own. There was enough other beers out there that I didn't want to come in with just another beer. I wanted to come with a beer that was really good, and I felt that was adding something to the choices out there already. And then the next big step was to make it commercially put on sale, and that was a really big step.
What was the time scale between you making the small batch and then scaling up?
It took about a year.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's determined to brew in Scotland, and to find finding a brewer willing to work with me. So I found someone who's willing to take my recipe and process and have a crack. Got some really awesome packaging design done. It was all going really well. I got got some photos done for the PR, and it was all like ready to go last summer, and then the beer wasn't right.
Oh no.
It was, I think probably I saw the guys from Upflow waving goodbye to their beer down the drain. And I think there's probably that story as reverberates through probably most of the people you're talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. And knowing how good the small batch was kind of really kept me thinking, like, I want to make this beer.
Definitely.
So we tried again, and it still wasn't right. And then I sort of found a different brew team to work with, and tried again, and it tasted really good, but it was too alcoholic.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, then and at that point I did some crowdfunding, which was quite a nerve-wracking decision, because I didn't at that point have the beer made, and the response to it was amazing. Like I thought it would just be like my mum, my brother, and my dog supporting me, but it's kind of a really good response, particularly with the Scotland people, backing an alcohol-free brewer.
Yeah.
And that gave me the impetus to go back, brew again, and we cracked it.
That's amazing. Yeah, great story. So yeah, so good to know that you had this small version of it that you knew was so good, and you wanted to get back to that, to make it bigger for everyone to enjoy.
Yeah.
You could have easily stopped, or you could have easily put out something which wasn't as good.
Yeah, and there definitely was a moment when people were like, oh, it's fine, it's good enough, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough fine beers out there. I wanted a great beer that did justice to the recipe we'd come up with at the start. So yeah, so I was really pleased. It was December last year. We got it into the can, into the glass, and yeah, it's been going really well.
How much did you put out there? How much is available? What was the scale like?
So we brew, it's 2,000 litre batches, so that's about 6,000 cans, just over 6,000 cans.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
where did you get, where are they available from? Where did you get them out?
So they're available through some of the sort of the big online specialist retailers like Dry Drinker, Wise Bartender, and then been building really in Edinburgh, and a few beyond local independent bottle shops. It was doing really well in pubs, really well in restaurants actually. There's not enough good alcohol-free beer in restaurants. And then obviously COVID. That's all gone on hold for now, but it's been a really exciting time in the city in terms of a lot of startups have come up to try and keep local businesses going, keeping local brewers going. So I've started doing home deliveries around Edinburgh.
Oh, nice.
Which has been going really well, and just opened up a web shop, so I can go a bit further afield. And yeah, there's new local delivery companies that have popped up, and well, hopefully at some point when it's safe, the pubs will slowly open their doors again.
Yeah. I think it's interesting what you said about the restaurant. So I think a good lager in a restaurant goes down really well. Yes, it's not a place you often would think about. Like I always think of bottle shops online and bars, but yeah, restaurants as well. I'd love to have that with a meal or something.
Yeah, it was one of the things that I really wanted was a beer that goes well with food, and a beer that you can drink a lot of, because there's some alcohol-free beers out there which I find you can't get past one or two, and then the flavour becomes a bit overpowering. So if you can have a sessionable alcohol-free beer, that's what I was going for.
Yeah. And you've got another beer out now as well, haven't you? So
So I've got the Flying Colours, which we just canned a fairly small batch of that. I got some tasters involved through the shipmate community, and got some really good feedback on it. It's gone down really well. It's got a bit of lime in it.
Yeah. You sent me some. I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
and a slightly darker colour.
Yeah.
And again, like I think it's quite there's a lot of good pale ales out there that, again, sort of making sure that I was bringing something to the market that was different and new, and not just another sort of another pale ale.
Definitely, I thought that it was definitely, it's unique, as I hadn't tasted anything like that before. It'd be good to see. So, is that going to be available further afield?
So I'm hoping to brew again soon. Lockdown has brought his own challenges in terms of getting beer brewed, but hoping to brew again this month and have it out there this summer. It's just been very locally available in Edinburgh at the moment, but to have it for national distribution is the goal. So I'll probably make small tweaks to the recipe just to kind of look at the balance of the bitterness in the line, but not much, because it's gone down really well, and I think people are panicking they're not going to be able to get hold of more of it. So
that's a good problem to have, I think. So and all your beers they're all vegan, gluten-free?
Yeah. I think just the more people who can access a good beer, the better. So if you're taking out the alcohol, you've already opened up to more people. If you're then making it gluten-free and vegan, then it's just just more reasons to have a beer. As you know, if I'm not saying never would I do a non-vegan beer, but I'll try my best to.
Well, it's like you say, the more people that can access it, the better, I think. And it's quite low calorie as well, like a lot of the
so it's 40 calories for a can of Yardam and about 50 odd for the ale.
Nice.
So I mean, it's not something that I really thought about when I started drinking alcohol free, but it's kind of a nice surprise to find that actually you can drink quite a lot. I think it's about 3-to-1 ratio of calories to a normal beer.
I think it's not all of them though, so you have to be careful. So it's nice. I know a few of the new ones that have come out are a little bit higher on the calorie.
Because of adding the sugars and
it's good to know. And we were talking before about like your sort of commitment to giving something back, and you're saying that your profits are going to charity.
So because before I moved into this, I've worked in the charity world for a few years, and I always want to give back. So I've made the pledge at the start that I'll give 10% of my profits to charity. Because I'm so new, I might not be able I don't have the profits yet, but just whenever I can find a way to give. So when we had a launch party and I sold tickets, I gave a portion of those sales. I've sold some sample stock to raise some money for the local Maggie Centre. So just to kind of, where we can have an impact, then we'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. So what does the future hold then, like in a post-lockdown world? What's next? What's next?
So obviously, like short term, getting Flying Colours brewed again, getting that out to a wider audience, reaching out beyond Edinburgh. I'd love to expand the range of beers that we have on offer. I mean, the dream would be to have my own bricks and mortar brewery following in the footsteps of the likes of Nirvana. That's not this year's plan, but
good to have the goals.
Cool.
Oh, brilliant. Well, best of luck with it. People are loving the beer, loving the branding as well.
Oh, good.
The shit-faced is
You
must get that all the time, people commenting on that.
I do like a good nautical pun. If you can drink a shipload of beer, then you're sorted.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely to have you on and continuing the Scottish theme. And best of luck with the future with everything.
Thank you, and thanks for setting this on. It's great to see.
Oh no, it's brilliant. And hope you enjoy the rest of the festival. We got Tempest up next, and then Brewdog afterwards, and then you mentioned Nirvana. They're on tomorrow as well. I think the beer's gone down really well, and we've got the winner for the competition as well.
Oh yeah.
Got it was John Holloway, so I'm sure he'll get in touch with you somehow.
Yeah, John, if you tweet me or message me at Jumpship Beer, I'll get your details and I'll send you out your beers. Thank you very much. Ahoy.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Sonia, and yeah, hope to see you soon when all this is over.
Yeah, that would be great. Cool. All right. Take care.
Cheers.